Oh, you thought Project 2025 was scary, but you haven't heard about Project Esther yet, have you? While we've all been distracted worrying about Project 2025 and looking at statistics to see how much of it has actually come to fruition at this point, back in October of 2024, the Heritage Foundation submitted Project Esther, and I'm telling you, it's 1,000 times worse than Project 2025 could ever dream of. Project 2025 is just the beginning of this manifesto. And making a comparison, The Handmaid's Tale, that was the first book. The 6 seasons we watched, that was the first book. There are others. Just like Project 2025 was the prologue to what's about to happen with Project Esther. Reading Project 2025, it spoke very clearly about eradicating all religions from the United States. There will only be one God and one Bible, and it will be forced upon you. It is forced practice of religion. You will not be allowed to speak of any other God. You will not be allowed to read any material outside of that Bible. And if you try to practice anything outside of what you are forced to practice, they will imprison you and put you to death. Project Esther also speaks about surveillance. They want us having something inside of our bodies that is implanted, where the government knows our whereabouts, knows our medical history, our heart rate, our sugar, everything on a 24/7 basis. It talks about suppression, ladies. It talks about the fact that we are no longer considered people. We are the property of our husbands, meaning we no longer can drive, vote, have a bank account, go grocery shopping, wear what we want, have our hair the style that we want it. We are forced to be the property of our husbands. And women, it speaks about sterilization. It speaks about when women are born, when girls are born, being immediately sterilized after birth. And when you become of age to have a baby, they will grow said baby in a lab and implant it in you so that they can have the white male child that they want for this Project Esther to come to fruition. According to Project Esther, there is no more LGBTQI+. It's gone. It's eradicated because there are no more lesbian and gay people in the United States. That's right. If you're male and you're gay, you have an opportunity to become straight. And if you choose not to become straight, then you will be put to death immediately. And women, they don't really give a fuck if you're a lesbian or not because you still have a working womb. So you'll be forced to marry a man anyway, and oh well, just deal with it. Project Esther isn't just a legislative plan. It's a theological plan as well, with roots in dominionism. And if you don't know what that means, it means having control over all living things, human beings, plants, animals. It means that as a man, you control everything like a god. It states very clearly in Project Esther that it has been written to replace the Constitution of the United States with biblical law. That is the whole purpose of Project Esther. Criminalization of abortion with death penalty being the reward will be a national thing for all of us. It won't matter state by state anymore what your governor and your senators say. As a nation, abortion will be criminal and you will be put to death. All public and private schooling will be completely eradicated. All children will be homeschooled through religion. And the best part, chat, for anybody who resists, for anybody who defies this particular law, there are re-education camps to repurpose your brain, to make you more compliant and willing to be a servant of Project Esther's law. By the way, none of this is written in code. I'm not assuming or coming up with ideas based off what I read. No, this is quite literally how it's written. Very, very, very blunt for all of us to completely understand what we're about to face. Project Esther, like Project 2025, was written by the Heritage Foundation, so it's obviously backed by Christian nationalists. But it is so deeply rooted in white supremacy and Nazi rhetoric that it literally makes my skin crawl. And if it doesn't make your skin crawl, I need you to go right ahead and run this shit back and listen to what
Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by saying, Kol Halo Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Dash. Double honors unto my elders and my apostles, a great millstone, which are the men that rule well and the men that taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect, as always, man. And hey, more censorship is coming. Like you saw in the beginning of the video, the Edomite woman talking about Project Esther, which I might link some articles talking about it. because really that actually is not anything new. I believe it was actually brought about last year, but it's just a plan of Esau that has not been 100% executed. But you see this dude Trump, man, with the way he's moving and the orders he's giving and the bills that they're passing, it looks like this is something that, is gonna happen very soon. And all it is more censorship, because like she was saying, one religion, one way to, one everything. Everybody is one. Well, that's Habakkuk too, man. The scriptures say that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it. Habakkuk, not the first chapter, the second chapter. Let's see. Oh, Habakkuk 2 and 4. Yeah. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, right? Which Esau Edom, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. His soul, his spirit is not upright. That's why we always say to know your enemy, because at the end of the day, let the wicked be shown favor, yet will he not learn righteousness. So his plan is never to give world peace. It's never to, let's make the economy flourish for everybody. No, his plan is to dominate for himself, and not even his whole nation, just the elites, just the 1%, So his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. He doesn't have, good plans for our people. His plans is to eradicate Israel. And this is deeper than your skin tone, for you fools out there that, oh, they hate us because of the color of our skin. No. This is far more deeper than that. This is goes back to the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter. Jacob and Esau, they hate us because of the blessing. They hate us just because they are not us. They're not the chosen. They are the rejected. That's why they hate us, because we're the chosen. We're the chosen lineage of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We're the chosen to be delivered. We're the chosen to receive the land of Israel. We're the chosen to live forever. And they're the chosen to be eradicated. Right? So that's why they hate us. So his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, man. He's wicked. Nothing good comes from him, right? But the just shall live by his faith, and that's the elect. Because the elect is the just, the righteous. Those that are justified in the sight of the Lord, they're going to live by faith. Now this is being said because what? Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, his philosophies, all right? That Project Esther in itself is a philosophy, because he wants you to marry his wisdom. He wants you to live according to his ways and his law, statutes, and commandments. Sacrifice his way for him, When the scriptures say to let our body be a living sacrifice to the Lord, he wants you to do that for him, That's the best way to put it, in the sense that he wants you to live for him and serve him forever. All right? And that's what you see. That's pretty much what that's going. That's one of the things that's going into, because really, it all boils down to what the MOTB. He really wants to just hip everybody so that he could have, quote unquote, world domination, right? It says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, right? Because this man's everywhere. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. Now here's the point. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. That's what that's talking about. That Project Esther, man. He wants to censor everything and have just everybody be according to what he wants. Because at the end of the day, when you really look at their plans, man, all they really want you to do is live according to the way that he wants you to live, which is off, man. He wants to replace everything with AI and robots, and who knows what he wants to do with the rest. He wants to kill, for one, he wants to kill the majority of the people in general, so hey, man, that's his plan. But the first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna legally censor everything. He's gonna make it illegal to share certain news. He's really gonna start enforcing the quote-unquote anti-Semitic talk, because the more we talk about them, the more exposing of those, fake Jewish people, all right? The more we expose them, the worse it looks for them, because now the whole world is talking shit about them. People ain't scared to talk about the Jewish people. They ain't scared to bring out that they own everything and are evil and wicked as hell, and they enact usury on everybody, So, this whole thing, this whole Project Esther and Project 2025, it's going to start off with just censorship. It's going to start off making freedom of speech illegal. You see, and soon it's going to be other things that'll be illegal, and it'll do nothing but just lead to the persecution, all right, of the men of the Lord, man. Persecution on Israel. The scriptures talk about that, man. All right. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Right. That's exactly what they do, man. They decree unrighteous decrees. They make these harsh laws that people are forced to do and follow. If you see, that's the thing. The average American, if you knew life outside of the U.S., you would realize that you're getting played, that you're getting robbed. The way we pay taxes here is insane. In other countries, that's unheard of. The 40-hour work week. Are you aware that in places like Europe, like in Portugal, right? I know the reason I say Portugal is because I had a coworker who is from Portugal, and he was telling me how in Portugal you see your friends like 5 times a day, because over there they don't prioritize work like how they do in America. Over there you'll have breakfast, with your friends, have coffee with your friends, eat with your friends, go to work for some hours, go have lunch with your friends. I believe in Spain they have this too, where they have the siesta, they have the nap time, right? And then what? They have, it's more social. It's more about actually enjoying life. In America, it's just hustle, bustle, commute, wake up at 4 a.m. to go to work. If you live in especially, real deep South, and you're in, certain jobs, if you don't work in corporate, you got to wake up 3 a.m., to be able to commute to work, because everything is more spread apart. This is hell, right? And what? This is the lifestyle that he wants for you. This is how he wants the whole world to be. He wants us all to live according to his commands, right? Here, it sucks, man. And these unrighteous decrees that he's prescribing, they're gonna just get more. It's because this is what, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, they're gonna make it even more grievous. The same way how Pharaoh, all right, gave us double the burden. It's the same thing with Esau. He's gonna, double our affliction, man. He's gonna make it harder for us to live a normal life here. Because right now it's pretty easy to live a normal life in America. It's it's not hard to get a job. Yeah, you pay taxes out the ass, especially if you live in certain states and cities, right? But for the most part, you can make a pretty decent living, and usually you end up living check to check. But it ain't like this is unlivable right now. You can still live, right? But it says what? To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people. Right? We don't have rights in America. We have certain levels of freedom that are disguised as rights, but really you don't have rights. At some point, it's just going to be illegal to be an Israelite. That's just what it is. It's going to be illegal to talk about what we're talking about on a high level, man. Like how we are right now, freely on YouTube. It's going to be illegal one day. With Project 2025 and Project Esther, and different laws that they've passed to censor everything, eventually, ain't going to be, no more hashtags. Ain't going to be no, GMS going live right now. Ain't going to be none of that at some point in time, because what? It's prophecy. All right. And it's going to happen. It's going to be done by the hand of Esau, but really through the hand of the Lord, because the Lord is the one that's really going to shut this whole thing down. All right. The Lord is going to say enough is enough. No more. He's going to allow Esau to censor things. All right. Because what? For the election being sealed. All right. Once the elect is sealed, what's the need to keep preaching the word to people who aren't meant to be delivered? You see? So this is Amos 8:11. Takes me, my next point, right? Well, my next precept. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So Project 2025, Project Esther, these are the perfect, things that Esau has concocted to pretty much, put a stop to the prophesying. All right, because pretty much it's going to be illegal. What we're doing technically right now is quote unquote illegal, but right now we have quote unquote freedom of speech, right? So we have the freedom to be able to speak about certain things. But what? At the end of the day, the Lord is going to, because it says what? I will send a famine in the land. That's the Lord talking. Not a famine of bread nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So at some point in time, there's going to be a scarcity of you being able to get the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You see? And you ain't going to be able to, just find the breakdowns just anywhere. You ain't going to be able to just find the prophets. The Lord is going to have to guide you to us, or guide us to you, right? 2nd Ezra 5:9, and salt water shall be found in the sweet. When I brought this out at camp on Wednesday, these people are going to look at, the waters, right? When you think about the scriptures, okay? The salt waters are going to be found in the sweet. At some point in time, this Bible that they used maliciously and things like that, and they used it for filthy lucre gain. They used it just to preach, these people that used it just to preach a prosperity doctrine. This is going to be salt water to them. It's going to be of no benefit to them. It's not going to be sweet anymore to them, right? It says, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. So this wisdom is no longer going to be available to everybody. It's not going to be out in the open anymore. Right now, it's out in the open. Shoot, we about to go out. Today's Friday. We about to go out tomorrow here in D.C. Preach the words of Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, right? At some point in time, you ain't going to be able to tune in or come out, The Lord's going to shut it down by the hand of Esau. You see? It says what? And it says, all friends shall destroy one another, right? Because what? During that time of tribulation, that's what you're going to see happening. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. Yeah, because the wisdom and the understanding is going to be within the minds of the men of the Lord, and only a person who the Lord wants to give this truth to will be able to find them and receive it, to receive the understanding. Okay? Verse 10, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Right? So people are going to be looking for the truth. People are going to be looking for the answers. All right? And only the men of the Lord are going to have the answers, and it's only going to be given, the answers are only going to be given to those who the Lord wants, to be delivered, pretty much. All right? It says, and shall be sought of many, the understanding of the Lord, right? The truth, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. So wickedness is going to be completely multiplied, man. Because it says unrighteousness, right? Now let's get that word incontinency. I always have a hard time saying that. Salakia. In the etymon, unchastity. See, incontinent, right? Self-restraint, right? No, so there's not going to be any self-restraint. So unrighteousness, all right, and self-restraint, or not having self-restraint, yeah, is going to be multiplied on earth. So no one's going to be self-restrained. Everybody's going to be acting crazy. The scriptures say in 2nd Ezra 15, that they shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So these people are going to be out here going crazy. And that's when, during that time, that's when the understanding is going to hide itself in the secret chamber, and not everybody's going to be able to get it. So it says, then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied on earth. So the evils are going to be multiplied, all right? And guess what? Ain't going to be no answers unless the Lord wants you to get it. Okay? So, hey, man, right now is the time. Right now, before all these censorships come, you're being warned right now. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Right? So before all the censorship comes, man, it would behoove you to get this now. Get the truth now while you can. All right? But hey, more censorship, man. That's all I wanted to bring out through the spirit. I want to say, call all Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak, Kodash, double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the electors. Always, Shalom.